Hi, welcome back to our Bible study. I am Laura Lee, and we are going through Revelation, and we're up to Revelation chapter 17 now. So I'm doing two videos today. I did our little bonus episode on the history of Babylon. That will kind of help you understand a little bit more as we go into chapter 17 and 18. And now we're jumping into chapter 17. So chapter 16, remember we had all the bowls that went out onto the earth, made it hell on earth. And those were the ultimate end of God's wrath. So now at chapter 17, chapter 18, we're going to be looking at Babylon and what happens to Babylon in the end times. So first of all, what happens in this story? So when you go to read chapter 17, this is what you're going to find out. So here's what happens in the story. An angel, one of the angels that has the bowls, comes to John and brings him to show him the harlot, the mother of all harlots. And he sees her, she's sitting on a beast, and the beast is full of names, has 10 horns and 7 heads. The woman is wearing purple and scarlet, and she has gold and precious stones, probably diamonds, pearls, and she has a cup, and in her cup is full of like idolatry and sexual sins. And on her forehead is written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of all harlots and abomination on the earth. And she's drunk with wine, and the wine is the blood of martyred saints. And so John sees this, and he's just completely shocked. But then the angel says, come with me, I'm going to explain what's going to happen to you. So when we are looking through Revelation 17 and 18, which we'll do tomorrow, this is the story of the rise and fall of Babylon. So this isn't necessarily that all of this happens directly after the bowls. This is happening throughout the 7 years and even before the tribulation. This is just the story of the rise and fall of Babylon. And remember that when John is writing this, Babylon doesn't exist anymore. So if you think about it from his perspective, what it would be like to see this vision, and as he's recording it, and to know that Babylon isn't a thing anymore. He's written about the temple, which isn't a thing anymore. He's writing now about Babylon, which isn't a thing anymore. It's not a great place anymore. So we see here that the world powers are going to be under the control of Babylon. So John is taken in the spirit and sees the woman sitting on the beast. And some people believe Babylon is a one-world religion. Some people believe it will be an actual rebuilt city of Babylon. And I believe it will be both. I believe it will be a one-world religion. And also, I believe it will be the rebuilt city of Babylon. Okay, so we have Babylon, who is a one-world religion and is rebuilt on the actual city of Babylon. And this woman is sitting on the beast. Remember the beast from the book of Daniel, so we know this beast will be associated with Rome. So John is really stunned by what he's seeing, which means when he sees it, it's pretty bad because he's seen a lot of things at this point. And when he sees this woman, he's completely stunned by her. So one of the things to realize is that women have been used as a symbol throughout the Bible by God when he is talking about his people. So in the Old Testament, he talks about Israel as though Israel was his wife, the wife of Jehovah. And then the church in the New Testament is seen as the bride of Jesus. So now Babylon is seen as a prostitute. So we can see that she's fake. She's about gratification now and not in the future. It's like having a relationship with no reality. So it is a fake God. So that's why we see the prostitute as opposed to the wife and the bride. We also see that there are 10 horns and 7 heads. So the 7 heads are explained to John as they are 5 that had already happened, 1 that is now, and 1 that is in the future. So the 5 that had already happened, we're looking at people or countries that have ruled both Babylon and Israel at the same time. So the first one to do that is Nebuchadnezzar with Babylon. And after Nebuchadnezzar was Cyrus with Persia, and after Cyrus was Alexander the Great with Greece. And after Alexander the Great died and his empire was divided into 4, so then there wasn't people who were, or nations that were in charge of both Babylon and Israel, except for there were 2 during wars that were in charge of both for a really, really short time. In 246, Palamine III, and then in 176, Antiochus IV. And he was a really, really, really bad one. We went back and studied the book of Daniel. You can remember he's seen as a picture of who the Antichrist would be. So those 2 ruled for a really, really short time. And that was before Christ. So that was BC. And then Titus of Rome in AD 70, when he destroys the temple, he is ruling both Babylon and Israel. So that was the 5 that were before. One that is now, because when John wrote the book of Revelation, Titus of Rome was in charge of both Babylon and Israel. And then the Roman Empire and that area had continued to control. It wasn't until 1923 when Britain kind of freed Jerusalem and it went under Britain's rule that there was kind of a break in that. So from Titus of Rome until about 1923, it was controlled through that same area of Titus of Rome. But then the last one is the one that is to come, and that is the beast. So the 7 heads are Babylon, Persia, Greece, the 2 kings that were for a really short time, Ptolemus and Antiochus, and then Rome. And then right now, there's nobody controlling both Babylon and Jerusalem, although we can see that the world's powers are trying really hard to give Israel to the people who are controlling Babylon, right? They want that all to be controlled by the same people. And that is Satan, and he's trying really, really hard. So if you're pushing for that, if you're pushing for the Jews to be kicked out of Israel, or for the nation of Israel to be given to these people, especially if you're pushing for Jerusalem to be given to these people, you are pushing for the last one, because there will happen one more time, and that will be the beast who will come, and he will be the 7th. So those are the 7 heads. There's 10 horns, and they say those are nations that are to come. So that is the 10 countries that are going to rule along with the king, with the Antichrist. And you'll remember that he will get rid of 3 of those and put himself into the power and control all of them. First, it will be 10. That will be 10 hordes that will be ruling the whole world. He will come in, instead of conquering the whole world, he'll just have to conquer those 10 kings and become a one world leader. All right. All of these men, all of the men that we talked about, Nebuchadnezzar, Cyrus, Alexander the Great, Titus of Rome, all of them use fake religion and calling themselves God to gain both power and wealth. They became very wealthy, they became very powerful by using religion, and we know the Antichrist will do the same thing. So that is Revelation chapter 17. The beginning of it can be kind of confusing, but the end of it is explained a little bit better. So go ahead, read Revelation chapter 17. This is the beginning of the story of Babylon. This is the religious parts of the story of Babylon. And tomorrow we're going to jump into Revelation chapter 18, which is this part 2 of the fall of Babylon. And then we're getting very close to the end of the book of Revelation. So you're almost all the way through. My name is Laura Lee Siemens. We're reading Revelation, and this is Bible Series.